Hi, it's Misty. Today we're back in FL Studio and we have our project that we left last time here. We lost some progress last time because of a crash, so we lost our work with the mixing that we did and some of the module work that we did, but that's okay because we can still go over. I want to go over Edison more officially because last time I didn't give it a proper test. To use it, you press the record button and then you press play on your session. And then it records the sample. It's not completely independent because it's still within your project, but it's sort of an independent buffer from your main audio because it's recording it on its own track within the module, and so you can sort of play with that before you send it to the track or save it as a file. And so it gives you a spectrogram, I think is what it's called, of your audio or your profile, whatever, and you can sort of tweak it from there. There's a lot of tools here. This is your undo button. You can also right click it to see the history. This one is for fading in your audio. You can see how it does that there, and there's another one for fading out audio, and as you notice, it only did that within my selection. So that's another thing that you can work with. So let me go all the way back to here. If you want to select just a portion, fade that in, see how that sounds. It's something. Maybe fade this out just to, well, that faded the whole thing. I'm gonna undo that. It's a little bit tricky because the undo doesn't stack like it would normally, but if you right click it, it's easier to navigate that. So I want to unselect this and then select that and then do the fade out tool on that. Oops. That isn't really anything, but that's a good example of what sort of thing that you can do with the fade in and fade out tools within Edison. So that's what those do. There's the blur tool, which uses some sort of algorithm to affect your sound. And it's got different parameters here that you can mess with that changes how that algorithm is applied. And from what I understand, there's a huge variety of things to discover there, but it's easy to get lost in, or a better way to word it is it's easy to drown in that sort of thing because there's a lot of music or sound that you can discover in that space that is not going to sound good. I'm going to say most of it is not going to be good. So there's going to be a little bit of a subsection of that space which is good. And sorry, I got distracted in my head. But I think that was just a roundabout way of saying experiment with this stuff, because even if a lot of it sounds like crap, there's a small portion that doesn't, and that's the part that sometimes surprises you, and who knows. Anyway, there's some other tools here. There's a cleanup tool, which applies some sort of other algorithm, and claw machine. I don't know what that does. Seems to do something with scales, but the main thing is this is a recording module. You can sort of ignore these, not completely, but for the purposes of overview, Edison is a recorder, and then you can export it or to a file or to a clip, or you can. There's also a right-click a menu as well. So we're going to export it to the playlist, and it's going to give us a file, and that file is here. So we're not going to use it because we didn't really use Edison to edit our file. So I'm going to delete it. But that is how Edison works properly. Another module that I want to go over properly is Patcher, which is a very complex. It's not complex. It's very broad. It has a lot to it, but it's very powerful. So what it lets you do is, like I was talking about in the last episode, you can sort of stack things or stack different instruments or effects together. Right now we have it loaded into our effect slot, which we don't want at the moment because I want to make a instrument. I always do this. I put it on the wrong one, but you can do both. So Patcher. So what you can do is add plugins. We're going to add Flex. By the way, this just updated, so it looks completely different than it did in the last two episodes. So I'm sort of relearning where everything is. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest, but it's based around like there we go. I was trying to figure out where the folders were. Here's all the ones that I have installed. We're gonna go to our pianos and our Steinway. We're going to leave it like that for now. And we're going to add, I'll add another Flex module, but this one will be, let's try something. That's kind of nice. That's cleaner. Trying to figure out where all the other controls went. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, that's nice. So I think we have both of them playing. If I turn this down, you can just hear this one, the ambiclav, and that's off. So we're gonna mix them. kind of fun. You can discover all sorts of things there. I'm just working mostly with the preset here. I tried to match the reverb rate on both of them. But that's where I can sort of introduce you to the next cool part of, I would say the next core part of Patcher. And that is to be able to hook it up to your control surface. So we're going to right click these modules, and we're going to go to parameters, and we're going to look for the one. You could choose any of these if you want to modulate with like your own dial or button in like a dedicated window. Then you would start with picking what you want that to control. So in this case, we want the reverb speed, which I think would be reverb. Oh, you can see it here. So if you hover over the button inside Flex, you can see it in the top. So it says reverb mod speed. So I believe that means if I go to parameters and then click reverb mod, and then do the same for the other one. And then I go to surface. We're gonna add a slider, and we'll just go default. So now we have a new default slider, and you can resize it however you want. You can also reposition it. You can duplicate it. You can edit it. You can color it. There's all sorts of things that you can do. To edit your control board, just click the wrench icon up here. You can turn it on and off. There's an add button where you can add different types of things. For example, a keyboard display, knobs, labels. That's a big one. It's good to stay organized. And name it. And so what we would do here is hook up our different parameters from within our modules that are making up our instrument. We would wire those up to each other. So here we would go, forgive me, I'm still learning this as well, but once you know it, you have it. So I think, yes, here. So now that we have these here, we have two inputs. These are display things, and these are inputs, a slider 1 and knob 3. We now have two extra buttons here, and we can wire these here. And for now, let's have both of them control the same thing, just because. Even though you might not need that, you probably usually wouldn't need that. I think that would conflict, but I guess we're just showing that you can do it. So you can see or hear it's interesting. I don't know how it decides when you have two of the same, but it does seem to work. But usually we just have one thing per whatever. So actually I want that slider. Here's another one. So I'll put the slider thing here and here. And these buttons are here because we selected them before when we went into parameters and chose reverb. And remember, you can choose any of these. So now we have that, essentially. So when you're recording and you want to control multiple parameters at once, for example, at specific times, this is the perfect thing for that, because if you don't have like a physical controller on hand, or you're out on the go or something, or you're just trying to stay simple, FL Studio has got it covered, and that's one of its biggest strengths. I myself need to learn to use it more in my work, but Patcher is very good for that. So now that we have our instrument, we can go to another part. I'm gonna try to go back towards mixing because we lost that last time. So we can edit our drum sounds here. We have our high tom. Where is it? Here. If we want to change that, we can go here. These are the... If you click this box here, you can preview it. If you right click it, you can edit it. This opens, oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. That's very powerful. So it opens up an independent editor for it. So you can load your samples in here, or you can use the default ones. This has got two preloaded. A lot of these have multiple preloaded into them. Sometimes I'll like several. So the way that I think this works is, I'm not sure what the active range it's referring to is. Maybe a volume. Because it seems to mix both samples. Or choose different one based on some value. And I'm trying to figure out what value that it is. If it's just volume, because you can see it's choosing the second one here up until this point. And at no point does it choose both. So it's interesting. spread velocity range. So this is for velocity. That makes a lot of sense. So I had that hidden. So if your velocity is a certain... Oh, that makes so much sense. That's perfect for drums. No wonder this is a drum machine. You can change your sample based on how hard that either physical or simulated hit is. That's kind of cool. Here, these dials change pitch, so you can change the tune of that to whatever you want. There's an independent layer pan for each sample as well, if you want some on the left and right. So I'm gonna go to velocity and change some of these lower. Yeah. So with the lower velocity ones, so let's just make this not too far off. So you see how that high tom is now sort of like split up? That's really cool. I have one on the left and on the right. That's great. So you can also go through each ones, and that was loaded just for this pad. So you can go through all 32 pads that we have loaded in this kit, which right now we're just overriding the FPC Polka kit. But as far as I know, you can save these independently, I think. Preset, save preset. I'm not going to do that, but you can. And that either saves, I think that likely saves your whole drum kit settings that you have currently, but I could be wrong. It might just save the single pad settings. But yeah, you can also go through and edit the other ones. We're not going to do that because we don't need to. And that's our or sort of it's got a punch to it, the drums. So right now I'm just experimenting with some and failing. I'm experimenting with some notes here and there. So now we're gonna add, let's just use a simple bass module. This is a very simple bass module. And now we have it playing through our master branch, which has a massive reverb on it. The reverb is essential to the piano though. So I need that reverb to go. Is there a way to move it? Or I'll save this as a preset. Patcherize, that's interesting. Preset, save preset. It's gonna be Valhalla Supermassive, July 21, 8 p.m. And then I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna go over to our piano track. I'm gonna add Supermassive. I'm going to load preset. There, and now we have it on just our piano. There might be a way to just move modules over. You know, I tried to get that last note to roll, kind of have like an off-tune roll, but it didn't really work out. So I'm gonna take that away. That's the wrong window. Gotta be careful resizing things because sometimes you just lose what you had and then it sucks. So I want to go here and I want to remove this last note. You know, it's just the same thing over and over again, and that gets tiring. So I'm going to make a unique copy of this. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to remove that extra sequence that I added at the top. Whoops, I just realized that is not what I wanted to do. So not the drums, I'm going to make a unique version of the piano. And I'm going to right click the top, make unique, double click this, remove these. So this one will just be, these first two will just be the progression, and then the high notes will come in towards the end. So I deleted our drums on accident. So we're actually shifting the entire drums over a little bit. because I think it fits better with the piano. No, the reverb is too much. So if you just want to focus in on a smaller area for a minute, you can. I forgot how to do it. Oh, you press Control. Yeah, you just press Control. And then you select your portion. See, that little, like, bum 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 bum, is good, and I just went through a lot of not good, and so that's what I was. It might not be good per se, but it sounds fine to me. And a lot of it did not sound fine to me as I was going through it. So we just drudged through a lot of not so good to find a little bit of what we did like. And for me, it's that little bit here, just by cutting out a few notes. That's got a good, like a drum roll to it. So I'm gonna remove this. So what this little icon here is at the end, when I was enabling this. Oh, that was the wrong one. I thought I was enabling a slide. I enabled on accident portamento, which has something to do with pitch, I think. And I put it here at the end of this note. I meant to do a slide. It works the same way. You just click the button and it applies it to your note. So I'm gonna left click this to copy it. I'm gonna unclick this and click this. Oh, I think it's conflicting with these ones down here. From what I know, if you change the color of it, it's independent, maybe? I didn't mean to do that. Edit. Change color. Oh, here it is. So if you change this color, there's probably a way to do these, to edit these as a group. I just don't know how. I think that it will treat it independently. So now you can't hear it at all because it doesn't have a note to slide off of. So we actually want this lower one to be the one with the slide then. So I'm gonna click this and copy it again, undo this, and drag it back. Same with this one. I'm gonna click slide. Can't hear it at all now. Forgive me. I was trying to get a slide working there, but it's kind of finicky, it looks like. So I'm gonna go back to the portamento because that actually sounded kind of nice. So this is where it gets kind of fun, because since you have the chord progression and the, the drums, you can sort of start jamming. I know we've been here a while, but I think we've covered a lot of ground. So we're here with our bass. So I don't believe this has any presets. Yeah, it does not. So we can just record our bass line there. So we're going to open on, we got Boo Bass on track 1, we're going to put Edison, our recorder, there. And we're going to click record. You can also just do MIDI because we're working with a synthesizer. This is a bass synth. You don't actually need to record it. So I'm not going to use Edison, I'm realizing. I'm just going to record it into MIDI because that gives us more flexibility. I don't know why I was thinking that. I do know actually because I've used FL Studio with guitar, and guitar is recording. But that's besides the point. Anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining myself. Let's record our bass line. Oh, you have to add a... Oh, never mind. Oh, that was a mistake then. There we go. You have to make a new pattern first, otherwise you will overwrite it. I'm going to add bass. I'm going to add some space for it to record onto. I'm going to bring our playhead back. So that was an example. You know, I lost that one that I had earlier. That's okay. So that's some sort of bass line. Oh, I forgot I was recording. I accidentally just recorded a volume automation on our bass, and what that does is changes the volume on our bass over time as the track plays, but we don't want that, so we're going to press Ctrl-Z. To change how it records, you can right-click the record button. I have it on everything, but you don't need that if you don't want it. I didn't mean to press that. No, it's not the best bass line in the world, but it works. I don't know why I'm putting drums. I don't know why I'm putting reverb on my drums. We're supposed to be on our bass. I thought we were working on our bass. That makes a lot of sense. That makes sense why the drums sound better. So I want to put EQ on this, or pan. So there we have a little bit of bass. It's not the greatest thing in the world, like I said, but it's got soul, hopefully, and I think that happens whenever you put some time into discovering things, because there's a lot of potential out there, and your brain has more taste for it than you might think. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Chaos in FL Studio, and I hope you have a lovely day, and thank you for watching.